Shows the updates for the next couple months. TLDR, if you know what the Russian roadmap looked like, this is the exact same thing, pound for pound. So if you know what the Russian roadmap looked like, no surprises here. You already know exactly what's going to happen. You already know what to be disappointed or excited about. And since I've seen the Russian roadmap, I was hoping they would have some different changes for us, but obviously they didn't. But we'll still watch their video to, I guess, see their reasoning. Let's go.
Greetings, heroes of Arcasia.
Oh.
We're here today with the next piece of the 2025 Lost Ark roadmap. It's going to be a couple of exciting months here in Arcasia, but before we get ahead of ourselves, as always, we'll do some quick introductions. I'm Rox, Senior Product Community Manager here at Amazon Games, host of Eye on Arcasia, and former Lost Ark NPC.
I'm Matthew, the Associate Franchise Lead.
I'm Henry, the Head of Editorial.
Today we're going to be looking at the next few months of content for Lost Ark in the West, covering April through June. As always, remember that Lost Ark is a live service game, which means things are always open to shifting and changing, but we're super excited to share a look at some of the next new pieces of content and give you a look at our plans for the next couple of months.
All right, up first, let's talk about April. April's going to lean in heavily on getting you ready for the next Kazros raid. Spoilers, more on that a little bit later in the video. We're going to have multiple progression events kicking off for you in the month of April. We're going to have the Storm the Abyss event and the Road to Act 3 event. Both of these are going to help ensure that you're geared up for the raid ahead and are going to provide a ton of materials for character progression and, all the different systems within Lost Ark. We'll have a bit.
So they're saying this is progression event supposed to help you get to 1700. That's going to need to be fucking loaded event if they want that to do anything for us.
On that in the April release notes when those events come out, but wanted to let you know that those are on the horizon.
All right, we've talked about rebases before, and we know that these come with significant changes both to quality of life and the class balance changes. A lot of that stuff is just the updates that we get from Korea. All right, so this particular rebase is actually going to include a lot of balance changes. Due to time, we're going to save some of that for patch notes with Henry, but I did want to touch on a few quality of life highlights. So we're going to have gate details actually added to the raid, so you're going to be able to see rewards associated with each gate. It's going to be a nice kind of visual to be able to see gold per gate and items versus it all being lumped into one group. So that'll be really cool.
Okay, the fact that they didn't start off this change with it saying advanced honing nerfs, already just dead patch.
Cool. We're going to have the ability to leave solo dungeons and Guardian raids ebony cubes without being penalized. So that's a nice update. I know I've been plagued by that.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be able to show off the damage dealt to the shields on bosses. So you're going to be able to see that on the MVP screen, which is cool. And then in attack patterns where bosses pull or push your character, you're going to be able to use skills to actually slow that down. We'll have the Stronghold like button. So anyone who's big in Strongholds, I know I've been into some, you'll be able to show your love for that. So more will be included in the April patch notes with Henry.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to those. It's always frustrating when you're fighting Brel, especially Gate 1, and Narak has that huge shield, and you can just tell everyone's holding their damage skills for the shield to end, and you're the timer's ticking down, and you're like, guys, just use your skills. But now they're incentivized, I think, so that
it's gonna
show up on the MVP screen. Yep. So definitely looking forward for that.
Damage already shows up on the MVP screen for shields. I think what they're meaning to say here is that damage will now be shown on the target when you hit a shield, because damage is already calculated for the MVP screen. We 100% know this.
It's going to be great.
So in addition to all that, April is also going to bring the Roses and Frost Arc Pass. This Arc Pass is going to have...
This is the only W of April. This skin is really nice.
all the usual items across the paid and free tracks. You'll get more progression materials, Una's tickets, all those good stuff. So it's just another thing that's going to be running during April to make sure you're getting all of the things you need to gear up. Obviously, too, the paid version is going to have those skin sets to unlock, a pet, a mount. So, something for everything, including our fashion arc enjoyers.
With that, let's launch into May.
Okay, April, why? Our month of March was already completely dead, and April, they said there's going to be new progression events ready for the new raid, but like that's good and all. We always need those, but that's not the whole content that you can produce in a month. You're basically telling people to just buy bundles, buy an arc pass for no updates. When you have updates to give, you literally have a continent and you have a raid. You have 2 raids ready. Just ridiculous. Such an L.
One of the big focuses of May is going to be the new continent, Rymeria. Heroes of Arcasia will be able to make their way to Rymeria, homeland of the Yaz, also known as the land that guards the dawn. Long ago, this beautiful land endured a tragedy. a catastrophe where many ancestors had to sacrifice themselves to seal a massive rift. The 4 Yaz who led the sealing ritual were honored as the first elders, and their successors have continued to protect Rhymeria ever since. However, with Kazaros' resurrection, countless small and large rifts have begun to appear across Rhymeria, and the Fallen now whisper of an unknown paradise. At the heart of it all stands Nar's Door, built long ago by the elders. Through the cracks of its ancient seal, the nightmares of the past threaten to return once more. You're going to have to find Shandy and join forces with Rhymeria's elders if you want to halt Kazaros' growing powers. Rhymeria is going to continue that main story quest, and like all Continent releases, we're going to have a new Adventurer's Tome, rapport NPCs, side quests, collections, achievements, and of course new rewards to earn. So should be a pretty fun moment, you know, the next chapter in Lost Ark's story.
And it's also just stricken with tragedy, but it is a beautiful continent.
Yeah, it's really
going to be
cool.
really cool to explore that. And it's the perfect place to take your new wild soul. Why not, you know?
Exactly.
All right, so along with that, you're going to unlock a bunch of new content for you to play through. All of this is going to require item level 1700, so it's getting up there. We're going to have the next chapter in the Curzon Front, so you'll be able to get T4 Ancient Accessories as well as the next cube, Unlock 3. So that's cool. With that said, we'll have obviously the next cube available, so all the sources of earning those tickets are going to come out in parallel, such as Stronghold Dispatch missions, the Guild Bloodstones, etc. And we're going to have a new Guardian raid called Drextalis, which is a cool aesthetic creature that's covered in some blue flames, so it's pretty cool to look at. Defeating that boss is going to provide the opportunity for ancient bracelets, new cards, and a card set that's coming alongside of it.
Oh, cool.
We'll have a new level of Chaos Gates with the chance of obtaining a relic book, if the rare boss spawns, of course. And then lastly, with all the adjustments, the Fate Embers are actually being updated to include opportunities to get relic books.
That's
so you'll have, you know, random chance for a relic or just the selection chest.
Yeah, super excited. I know players are going to be super excited for that too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So after spending some time aiding Rhymeria, Signs of Armin are going to lead you back to North Curzon, where the Alliance is preparing to head to the Storm Tower. There are threats looming on the horizon, but our heroes of Arcasia are no longer idly standing by. Kazaros Raid Act 3 Prelude will kick off, and it's going to be time for you to get ready to bring the fight to Kazaros' lines. The Kazaros Raid Act 3 is going to launch in early June, 2 weeks after the May update, so we'll talk more about that shortly.
All right, so May, you know, you've been talking about all that stuff. May is not just about tragedy and threats. We're also going to be releasing a new set of K-pop themed skins, which they look
Are we going to be able to play the music instruments?
really cool.
Yeah.
These skins are fun, fashionable, and if you've ever wanted your character to feel like an idol, now's the time to do it.
I love those
There we
skins. I
go.
think
They-
they're
they
super
look
cute.
really good.
Yeah,
They
you're
are
going to throw
really
those
good.
on the characters,
yeah.
Matt? Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to
Alright.
face Kazaros dressed
With
as
my-
a
yeah.
K-pop idol? Yeah,
The fun headpiece.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I guess with that, let's get into June though.
All right, May, I mean, just releasing a continent 2 months after it should have come out with literally no other update. Just another dead month. Crazy.
Yeah, so like Rox mentioned a second ago, we're going to have kind of 2 updates in June. There's the raid coming 2 weeks after the continent and
This is the real June update.
the May update, so early June. Then we're going to have another June update later on. But first up, let's talk about that raid that's coming at the beginning of June. In early June, the heroes of Arcasia are going to make a move to take control in the all-out war against Kazaros in the Act 3 Kazaros raid. This is going to be an 8-player raid offering both normal and hard difficulty at launch, and each difficulty consists of 3 gates, with the normal mode accessible at item level 1680 and hard mode at 1700. So we're going to have the Frontier mode coming back. It's going to be applied to the raid to help make it a bit easier over time.
I hope the Frontier doesn't nerf the raid as hard. I hope they don't adjust the raid to be nerfed immediately. They really should let the raid be close as it can. Don't give us that 10% nerf that then stacks with 3 more 10%. Just have it be as it is and then hit it with the 10% nerfs.
Like what we did with Belshazzar. In this raid, you're going to find yourself once again face-to-face with Thamine in an epic rematch for Gate 1, followed by fights against the Chaos Guardian Nitrea, and finally, the final boss is Mordum the Abyssal Punisher. He kind of poses a great threat and looks like a really interesting fight. To defeat these enemies, you're going to need to use new Allied Forces skills, getting help from a number of familiar faces in each gate. You'll see some familiar favorites like Thyrane, Nineveh, and some new ones like Mari and even Carmine. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. So completing the raid is going to yield materials essential for the new advanced honing stages 3 and 4. Completing the normal difficulty will reward you with Thundercrack horns for
Also, they made it this whole way, and they literally they did not talk about advanced honing.
for advanced
crazy.
honing tempering stage 3, while hard mode
Fucking ridiculous.
provides thunder orbs, which can be used for stages 3 and 4. Just like the advanced honing stages 1 and 2, fully completing each stage will add 10 item levels. So when you do 3 and 4, it's going to raise your overall eye level by 20. Additionally, clearing hard mode is going to have a chance to give you relic grade engraving books and the new special raid cosmetic, which is a wing type mount. And
Wings
then
look
there will
cool.
be, normal loot auction stuff, all the accessories, honing materials, gold that come with all the raids.
Those mounts, the wing mounts, are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's gonna go.
They
for
look
them.
awesome. I love all of the raid stuff. I also think it's kind of fun that they've, they're now in the auction at the end of the raid because
Yeah.
you see them a bit more often, and also if you already have it, then you might get a fun payout. I got really lucky getting my Brel MVP screen early on.
I'm shocked you got really lucky.
Wow,
I
yeah.
know. Imagine that. Yeah.
Crazy. No, but yeah, it will be super nice, and I know players are always kind of chasing those, so that'll be super fun to see those. And after that comes out, we're gonna slide into part 2 of the June update. Of course, after you face off against Mortem and successfully clear the Act 3 Kazuros raid, you're going to have a post-loot quest, which will help round out this piece of story and get you starting to think about what's coming next. We might be bringing the battle to Kazuros' front lines, but doesn't mean he's going to fall so easily.
All right, so alongside the post-loot quest that Rosh just talked about, we're actually going to be introducing the new Western exclusive skins. So these skins are inspired by ancient deserts. They're still in development as we speak, but I don't want to reveal too much. But yeah, they're looking really good. There's a variety of looks
Don't even have
with
a
some really
preview?
awesome headpieces for some classes. So the matching mount is also inspired by Horus and is a fit for a hero. The pet takes the form of a cute desert lizard and would make a great sidekick for any adventurer.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of the concept art.
Yeah.
I'm really
They
excited.
put a lot of time into it. It looks great.
I love some of those glowing elements coming off of the concept art. Really excited to see how that looks in game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Will this skin actually not look like a piece of plastic? Because the Magic Girl skins literally look like coated plastic and were not well received.
mount is just absolutely killer. I think it's going to be one of my favorite mounts in the game. Genuinely, it's really cool. So these next few months of content are just heating things up before we head into summer. Mortem's going to be a great challenge for our players. And of course, we'll have more exciting content coming later in the season too. We're going to save some of those big reveals for our next roadmap. So we hope you'll support us and our fellow Arcasians later this summer. Maybe even support us with a big sword and a holy aura.
Maybe.
Seems good.
We'll see in the next roadmap.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Obviously, they're just teasing for female paladin coming out around the same time as Korea. But that's not what's important. That should just be default at this point. Can't delay content. I don't know. They're literally delaying content just to load up specific months. It's crazy.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for our second roadmap of the year. It's going to be a super important time in Arcasia as the battle against Kazuros reaches a full-scale war. But of course, there are a bunch of other pieces of content we talked about today, and we want to know what you're the most excited about. So we'll ask you a community question, and you can let us know your answer in the comments. What piece of content from this roadmap are you the most excited about? Also, I want to know what piece of content you both are most excited about.
Yeah, I mean, the raids are going to be great. I think that's going to be a nice piece of content, but I'm excited for Romeria, right? It's
Still working through
This into what's happening with Kazuros and everything. I'm just kind of excited to see what's next. And
You have a free code. You can put that in. You get a gift. It's some stones and some Fion. Literally, almost can't watch that whole video. I am so crazily disappointed with this roadmap that we literally just copy pasted from Russia and did not do any sort of assessment of the feedback of the community at all. People did not want this raid. They did not want the continent. Obviously, they're doing it just to bloat up their summer months for no reason. It didn't need to be done. It's just so I'm just kind of flabbergasted at how they also didn't mention advanced honing in here at all. Or really, honestly, a single important change. The only important thing they announced here are the 2 progression events, but they didn't even have a preview of what you could expect to have in them. So we just have to trust them on it. Yeah, I don't know. April having nothing but the progression event, literally not another thing. It's not like they don't have it. Pushing us farther and farther away from the pace of Korea isn't what people playing the game want. Although maybe people tell me otherwise. But for anybody I've talked to, or if you look at any feedback people are giving, delaying this stuff seems to be not what people wanted. We were so close to catching up to a decent pace of being like 2 months behind on the major raid, very close on quality of life and balance, that doing the opposite and now pushing us farther apart again is not what people needed. My overwhelming thing for this is just so disappointing. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what they say at Low on Summer for the Korean update. I'm sure they're going to have an amazing update plan for Korea, but like at this rate, we won't expect to see those things until like December. It's just painfully bad. A very disappointing roadmap in my mind. I hope the progression updates are good. Totally missed the mark. Not good. But people can share their feedback in the comments. And if I missed something and they're, I don't know, maybe they'll post something even more in-depth update. Maybe the April patch notes will have a lot more in it that make it actually sound more exciting. Who knows? Maybe they can still, I doubt they'd be down to changing any dates from this, but you know, it's not all set in stone. We'll pressure them hard enough. Until the next one, that's it for this video. Remember to like and subscribe. Almost at 1,000 subscribers. We are close.